Up first on New to the Street, a Canada-based oil company looks to take the lead in the massive oil services market. Joining me now is GENOIL's David Lifschultz, Chairman and CEO. Welcome to New to the Street.
Thank you.
So tell me a little bit about, for people not familiar with GENOIL, what exactly do you guys do?
The main thing to understand about the oil market is there's 900 billion barrels of heavy oil that's largely unused.
Okay.
And what GENOIL does is it removes that sulfur, which is a contaminant of the air, for the world economy. And our technology desulfurizes that heavy oil and makes it suitable for today's refineries.
What is GHU technology and how exactly does it work?
The GSU technology operates through a reactor. It heats the oil to 700 degrees, and then we inject the hydrogen into the oil at a high temperature to combine with a higher hydrogen component, which makes it lighter.
Is this GHU technology exclusive to GENOIL?
GENOIL's technology is patented, and so we're about 70% cheaper than anybody else. And what's so important about that is they're heavy oil deposits where our process is so cheap, we can unleash hundreds of billions of barrels of heavy oil that could not be used commercially otherwise, with a process that only does 65% conversion rate.
How big is the maritime fuel opportunity in terms of dollars?
There's 6 million barrels a day, approximately, of what they call bunker fuel, which is very heavy and full of sulfur, that can be desulfurized by GENOIL.
How is GENOIL addressing this unique opportunity?
We are in negotiations with, I would say, most of the major giant shipping lines. And we're also talking to the bunker dealers, and we are in very advanced talks and close to contracts with many of these companies. And one of the things that we're offering them is that if we link, for example, in Rotterdam, Singapore and Rotterdam, if we link with the refining capacity in those areas, we can build it out for, let's say, $30 or $100 million, but it would pay itself back, depending on the size of the operation. It would pay itself back within 3 to 7 months.
And what stage of negotiations are you in some of these? I know you touched on it a little bit.
We're talking about the terms of the contracts.
Okay.
So we're in the very last stages. Once we agree to all the terms and put it in contract form, we could have contracts within, we think, 3 months.
Okay, and what are your targets?
Well, we would like to do as much of the market as we can. If we have 6 million barrels a day of bunker fuel, if we can handle a large proportion of it, if we handled all 6 million barrels a day, if we make, let's say, $3 a barrel as a minimum, we would make $18 million a day for GENOIL.
How big of an opportunity is this?
The value of the company at 7 cents with a convertible debenture is $50 million. And if we just said, that's $50 million as a total value. If we did 3.5 million barrels a day on the, which is part of the tranche of the $5 billion letter of intent for a $50 billion project or 3.5 million barrels a day, you multiply that times $3, that's $10.5 million a day in revenue. So if our company is worth $50 million on the stock market, and I can generate 10.5 million barrels a day, $10.5 million a day, just from one operation in Saudi Arabia, Aramco, should they accept it, then the value, we pay back the value in 4 days. So that's the valuation potential of GENOIL in relation to the stock price, which is extraordinarily low.
So can you tell me a little bit about this sulfur cap that's happening in 2020 and the role that GENOIL could potentially play in that?
Sulfur cap means that there's presently, you can have 35,000 parts per million of sulfur in your oil that you're using, and you have to reduce it to 5,000 parts per million sulfur. It's a revolution in the oil, will be a revolution in the oil industry, which has been characterized like changing from coal to oil. And everybody knows what happened in London, into the London fog when they changed from coal to oil, because the fog disappeared. And what this will mean to the world atmosphere is it will be dramatically improved, because right now 12 of the largest ships produce more contamination than 1 billion cars.
Wow, so this is a really positive thing for investors potentially. You want to invest in GENOIL, and this is a really positive thing for the environment.
It's very much so, and it's very positive in a green sense, that GENOIL is essentially making the oil green.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today on New to the Street. Up next, Ken Evzeroff introduces us to a mobile money company taking India by storm. That's next on New to the Street.